I think there's some school children down the way you can go and frighten.
Oh, hardy fucking har. Dickhead.
Well, we are back after a good near fucking year of no Deadlands. The Wild Five has split up, gone their separate ways, excluding Gail Constance Calloway and William Buckskin. What's that asshole's last name? Madsen. Who are sticking together. They're keeping the ranch running, but they were called over to Deadwood for a short time. But we'll get into everything. We'll catch up here in a second. I'm Scar. I'm going to be your marshal or GM tonight, telling the tale of this new campaign, long campaign, with our new crew here. That should be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. Go off of... I'm not even looking at the stream. It's actually kind of a clock now, so we can go clockwise.
Oh,
from
it
Nico.
is. You're right.
You know?
Oh, God. Why me?
Last one in is the first one to introduce themselves. That's a new rule.
Okay. Well, I need to mute the stream because I'm hearing you twice. And even though I like your voice, two of you is a bit too much for me.
Twice as nice.
Couscous.
You don't want to echo?
Nice. They named it twice.
I am Nico. I was Caesar Miyamoto in the last game. Unfortunately, he decided to fuck off back to Brazil, so I'll be playing a new character called Rusk, a huckster. Who is... Govan.
Well, in our new season that was just approved for production here, which we're not playing in the first episode of, I'll be continuing on with the escapades of William Madsen, aka Buckskin, the, I guess, quintessential lawman, but more of a shoot first, ask questions later type of person, which is what seems to happen in most situations. Just a grizzled veteran of the group, I guess. He's an old man now. Not super old, but like in his 50s. And that's that.
All right, 09.
Hello, everyone. I'm new to the campaign here. I'll be piloting Two Toes Tallulah, who is a native person from the Choctaw Indian tribe, which is actually a real tribe from around the Gulf. They inhabited Louisiana and Mississippi around the time in the late 1800s when this is set. Choctaw is a medium height native person with long black hair. And the thing that is striking about Two Toes when you see him is that he has a very decayed, necrotic look about him. He's covered in what appears to be an ever-growing tendrils of moss and dirt and just decay. And similarly, his horse has a similar visage, not zombified, but kind of stained or has a hex to him. And that's one of the overarching things we'll discover and unfold with Tallulah, is the fact that he has this unknown source of some sort of hex or curse that has made him look that way. And as a result, he is very self-conscious when he goes into towns and encounters people for the first time. One, because he is a native person from the area of the South where people were not too kind to the native folk after Westerners came around, and also because of the way he looks. So, another major thing about Two Toes is he has a deep connection with the spiritual realm and is focused heavily in voodooism and due to his exposure to the Creole South region of the southern United States, and has a horse and has a simple pistol and is able to conjure spirits and all manner of bones and tendrils and entanglement and confusion and hexes. And so, yep, that's how we'll be enjoying Two Toes. Who's next? Pillows.
Howdy, I'm Pillowfarts, and I will be playing Gail Constance Calloway, but more importantly, she'll be Constance for this adventure. She's a rootin' tootin' shootin' new boot goofin', not so much a bad bitch of a woman now, but having some difficulties, but has gone through hell and came back, but a little bit of a better personality, a little less hard to be around. Probably probably. But she's a little more laid back, I'd say. Probably a little less from the previous campaign that we did. She was a bit of a situation, but she's a little more controlled, I'd probably say, for the sake of this this adventure that we're going on together. But she's gonna do not only her best, but her darndest to accommodate everybody appropriately, especially my companion friend Buckskin, to make sure that we're all safe and sound. On top of that, yeah, she's just a bitch. I'll give her but to peel off of that, Rachie, it's your turn.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rachie. I'll be playing Bethel. I'm new to this as well. I'm very excited. Bethel is from Louisiana as well as Two Toes Tallulah. She is kind of making her way west from a compound which she escaped from. She wears an all-white dress, kind of like what I'm wearing right now. Very modest, but she does carry a weapon on her. She rides a horse named Jezebel, and she appears somber. She has, like, not really resting bitch face, but like a resting sad face. Very sunken in eyes with dark circles, maybe even a little paranoid looking at times, but she is very warm and kind to people. She just has a sort of frantic outward appearance, but once you get to know her, she's lovely. That's all you need to know for now.
Beautiful.
And Briny.
Howdy, y'all. Happy to be back playing some Deadlands with y'all. I'm playing the outlaw O.T. Wales, and my name is Ryan Briny Sigler. You'll meet O.T. Wells. He's a bit of a weathered cowboy from the Lone Star State that's just trying to make a better life for himself after a hard living of crime. He's made his way to Deadwood, and we'll see what happens from there. Let's get this thing going.
So we have 3 people from Louisiana.
Darn tootin'.
You bet your bottom dollar we are.
I'm from El Paso. If y'all ever thought, you know,
in my
guys
opinion,
are just-
Louisiana is the best state, so, you know.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
Opened
But,
a restaurant in Deadwood.
and Louisiana is the best state because that's where I'm from. So I'm going to be judging all 3 of you
Some
incessantly.
Lore?
It's where I want to move. Also, I have my riding boots on.
I'm actually from the Florida Panhandle, so you can't quiz me on that, Marshall.
y'all make some gumbo or boudin balls or something like that, and I'll be the judge. We'll see. It's about
Why'd you
food,
have to
baby. It's
say
about
that?
food.
I could go for some gumbo right now.
So,
I don't know what a boudin ball is, but I want one.
as mentioned, we begin this campaign in Deadwood, right where our Deadlands experience began. So, at least 2 of you, Gale or Constance and Buckskin, you guys have been here for.
Preferably in this situation.
Y'all have been here for a bit. You kind of got stuck here in the winter. And when the thaw came, you kind of finally got your first assignment to handle the monster that was taken care of. Well, he was terrorizing the miners and eating horses, and you figured it out, brought it down. Met some other weird creatures along the way. and uncovered kind of a bit of a conspiracy, some kind of foul play going about. You went to a miners' camp, found a few miners dead, and it was made to look like the Sioux had done it. You quickly ascertained that it was not in fact the Sioux. But the Sioux are who put you on the task because they commissioned the Legion to look into it, being an outside entity because they couldn't trust anybody in Deadwood. There's a bit of an understanding in Deadwood with the Sioux and the inhabitants of Deadwood, but tensions are still pretty high. Sometimes miners do things they're not supposed to, go outside of the territory they're allowed to go. Sometimes loggers will cut down trees they're not supposed to be cutting down, and they're promptly met with an arrow in the face. Despite the agreement, obviously it doesn't sit well all the time when people go disappearing. Anyway, with tensions running high and trying to prevent an all-out war, the Sioux hired you all to get to the bottom of it, and you did. So, we're in spring here. Rainy, mucky. The streets of Deadwood are just... They're not really streets. They're more like mud pits, really. When you're walking around from store to store, they're on elevated wood porches, essentially. And you'll, to cross the street here and there, you'll even see planks of wood that people have laid down just so you can get across certain areas. Things like that. Is like makeshift bridges everywhere. But they get covered in mud also. Sorry, I thought I got a message. And, I need to turn off my sound effects so I don't know who does it. It always makes the Windows, the USB sound effect on the sound effects in Discord. That gets me every time.
Yeah. I hate that shit.
The knocking sound.
The knocking
It's
too.
actually
Yeah. Nico's a master of timing there.
Limits, dude.
But here in Deadwood, most of you are arriving. You arrived a little while ago. Maybe you're just now getting into town. But Deadwood has a few saloons. Namely, a big saloon that is pretty popular. It's a little bit more popular with the frontier folk in Deadwood, the dirtier folk, the gym variety theater. Where many people will often go. You have the Chinatown part of Deadwood, where the Iron Dragon's regional office works out of. That is how people come typically in and out of Deadwood, because you cannot cross into Sioux land or you're gonna have a problem like the Wild Five discovered. They barely got into Sioux land because they had to get into Wyoming from Colorado, and they couldn't take a rail to get there. And time was an issue. And you're herding thousands of cattle. And yeah, within not a lot amount of time, the Sioux found you, but you're able to get out of there under weird circumstances. Anyway, yeah, you've got Wong's Bazaar in Chinatown that you can go find all your ins and outs, really. You can even find unique Chinese effects of any kind, really. Overlooking the whole town, you have Mount Morai. Beautiful sight, just this huge mountain just overlooking the town amongst all the forest. You have the Cat House, which is probably one of the most popular brothels right now. And you've got a couple hardware stores, sheriff's office. And I'm going to plant y'all kind of right here. Now, Two Toes and Bethel are arriving together. So first, we'll start with you two as you arrive into Deadwood. Let's start with character descriptions first, as you both ride in on your horses. I'm assuming you both have a horse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and what we're in Wyoming right now?
Yes. Well, no. You're in technically Dakota.
Okay.
You're in Deadwood, Dakota.
I'd say the first thing that would be very obvious is the ride, assuming that we didn't hop on a train for any part of it. To ride a horse from Louisiana to the Dakotas is incredibly long. And so as Two Toes and his companion on the trail.
You did come in on the Iron Dragon rail. Your horses,
Okay.
with your horses, and your horses offload, and then you ride into town.
Oh.
Okay.
So you're coming in from Chinatown right now into the main street.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Two Toes riding down the main street, which is just like knee-high muck and animal excrement, and it smells like hell, and it's been raining, and it's stinky, and says, "Feels strange to be back in the saddle again after our ride all the way from Louisiana, but hopefully this will get us where we're going."
Never been this far west before. You're gonna have to help me navigate here.
Good.
Quite different than Florida.
Yeah, there's no telling what awaits us out here. Have you checked your provisions? Are you ready for what's next, or should we head into one of these general stores?
Pretty well up on a lot of things, but it wouldn't hurt to go poke around.
Me as well. I think I got enough ammo and bacon to last me at least a couple weeks.
Bethel, go ahead and describe your character.
Bethel is, she has long dark hair that's parted in the center. It's kind of windblown at this point. It just falls down her back. It's kind of tangled and mangled towards the end. She's wearing a long white dress. It goes all the way up to her neck and all the way down just past her ankles. It's covered in mud, essentially, from the bottom, but there's still some, her sleeves are still in okay condition, and up by her neck is still in okay condition. She does carry, like, a little belt with her gun at her side, and she also has a flask. Also has a gold cross around her neck. She's got dirt under her nails and circles under her eyes. She looks tired all the time.
Damn.
And how about Two Toes?
It's just me.
Yeah, Two Toes has native Choctaw Indian garb, which is relatively minimalistic on his body. I wouldn't call it a loincloth, but it's a very minimalistic kind of sashed coverage around his waist and a bare chest, but has a very ornate armored headdress which covers the majority of his face, and no shoes on. Prefers to ride his horse without a saddle. Feels natural to him, and he and the horse are both, as I mentioned, kind of not necrotic in the way like a zombie would be, but you could tell they're very weathered. They have covers of moss and vines and tendrils, and they're just perpetually dirty. And he and the horse are kind of, if you look at them as they're walking, they seem indistinguishable. They're kind of one and the same, riding together, although they're not. It's not a centaur situation, but they look nearly indistinguishable, particularly at a distance. They're both very dark and dirty. Besides that, he's a native person with relatively darker skin than most natives because of the tribe they came from in the south. And there were some interbreeding among the Creole folks down there and the Native Americans, so he might have some Western African blood in him as well. And has long black hair, and has a simple 44 on his belt and enough provisions, as I said, to last at least a week.
All right, you guys walk or ride through the muck. This town is bustling. People are practically shoulder to shoulder walking around, crossing as they can in front of you and behind you. You guys coming out of Chinatown, first thing, buildings you would cross on your right hand side, you see a big sign, big 2-story building, beautiful building. Big sign that says Bella Union Theater. And to your left you see another big 2-story building, a little rougher. It says the Gym Theater. Further down, about a block down, you do see one stand out that says the Avis and Wardman Hardware. As you guys trot down there, we'll pan over to probably one of the more lonelier, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if he's lonely. He's alone a lot, though. Rusk.
Yeah, Rusk. Well, I think Rusk, being kind of interested in the OG gang and being very keen on observing before interacting with people, probably arrived a few days prior and spent his time getting the feel of the town, maybe gambling with some of the locals to get them to open up with him. Never not losing once, maybe coming close to giving them some of that feeling of, oh, I almost did it. But he's most likely in the saloon that was mentioned earlier, the theater. He's, I wouldn't say sharply dressed. His suit and in general, his outfit isn't very extravagant, but it is good materials and tailored to fit him perfectly. But it doesn't stand out. Mostly all black with a white shirt. He looks very obviously Russian to most, or Slavic to most people. Distinguished by his nose more than anything. The like, oh, what's the name? Not like crow nose. You know, where that bump sticks out more or so. That kind of appearance.
Okay.
He is fairly
He's
pale.
like my nose.
Yeah, the Slavic nose. Yeah, the Slavic nose. The only thing he didn't inherit from his father is his hair color. He instead got that from his mother with his pure black hair, which is the only thing he got from his Creole side of the ancestry. Aside from that, it would be easy to assume that he is a purebred Russian. But yeah, he's probably in the bar still, in the saloon, winning some money off the locals, digging up some info during the game about the Wild 5, or, well, Wild 2, that it is right now, I guess. About what they've been up to, that sort of thing.
Well, you'd probably be at the Bell Union then. The gym doesn't have any gambling in it.
Well, he carries cards everywhere he goes, so.
It's fair.
That's like me.
Bell Union, they focus a lot on craps, but they do poker as well, Texas Hold'em. Going on about the Wild 5, one of the people that you're playing across, he has a long white beard, ripped up undershirt, cotton undershirt, long sleeve, overalls underneath with one that's got a broken button, so it just kind of hangs, and he's got a hat that is just drenched in mud right now. Kind of looks at his cards. So, word is they're over in Nia's saloon around the corner right now. They've been here for a few months. And he lays his cards down. And he's got 3 of a kind.
Well, I've heard that wherever they go, they tend to get into rather extravagant escapades. Were they up to anything interesting around here?
Well, not too recently, they uncovered some dead miners and, well, supposedly ran off some kind of Sasquatch or something. Whatever. Probably just them Sioux causing more trouble.
Well,
Sasquatch.
Well, I suppose it's smart to not believe everything you hear. I also lay down my hand cards. Do you want me to do a roll to see if I witness, or do you just want me to
Say what you roll down.
just full house?
Full house. He lays down that fat full house, and it fades to black, and we pan over again.
Oh.
To our O.T. Wells.
Oh,
Riding an all-white horse, the outlaw O.T. Wells is a weathered cowboy with a haunting presence that lingers long after he's passed through town. Standing at an imposing 6'3", his frame hardened by years of harsh frontier life. His clothing, once vibrant and well-made, now hangs dusty and stained, bearing the marks of countless trails and skirmishes. Years beneath the unforgiving sun have etched lines of experience and wariness into his weather-beaten face. The lank black strands of hair that frame it, speaking of days spent under wide-brimmed hats riding through the desolate plains and rugged canyons. But it's not just the elements that have left their mark on him. The sinister branding of an M on his cheek and an F on his forehead tell tales of past marked by violence. Despite his intimidating appearance, there's a quiet intensity about OT, a man of few words whose actions speak volumes. His eyes, sharp and alert, betray a keen awareness honed by years of survival in the wild. And there's a mystery that surrounds him that whispers of deeds both valiant and sinister. That's OT.
Briney wrote up a whole biography.
I think the M stands for Majin, and that he can go as powerful as a Super Saiyan. They say.
Majin Buu.
That's definitely what it means.
Don't bring it up.
Oh, I thought
no.
I thought it stood for Mama's Boy.
Oh, you just ruined my story.
No story, no. Sticking to it. Speaking of which,
getting back into
Mark
the zone though, what is OT Wells doing at the moment as he arrives into town?
Rides into town, parks his horse. Yeah, he's parched. He's ready for a sip, some whiskey, and rest his weary legs. So straight to the bar.
Well, there is a particular bar that catches your eye because it's got a bit of a gathering outside of it at the moment. But the bar, you see a sign out that says Nettle Man Saloon. It's a narrow bar. You know, it's not 2 stories. It's just kind of a shitty bar, honestly. You go in, you see in the far back people playing poker at a couple tables. There's a couple tables right at the front there, and then the bar is pretty much the whole right side of it. And we'll actually fade there with O2 Wells because it just so happens that Buckskin and Constance are in this very same bar at the moment. And for those who maybe weren't here for the previous campaign, let's get a description of what Buckskin and Constance look like now. They may have changed their look. Let's start with Buckskin.
Oh boy, put me on the spot. I don't remember how tall I said Buckskin.
Put you on the spot. I've done almost everyone before you.
I know, but I forgot.
He's
busy typing stupid shit in Twitch chat.
He's 5'12".
He's 5'12". Also known as 6.
Super handsome, super tall,
yeah.
Really cool, the hottest person you've ever met. Like,
pretty quick with a gun.
3'11"
in a trench coat.
Right. We said no gnome slender.
No, Buck is Buckskin is he's like a middle-aged individual over the hill, I guess, if you want to call it that. He's in his 50s, I believe, about early 50s, mid 50s ish. He's a grizzled looking older fellow. I mean, he's definitely gray and is not really salt and pepper no more. No original hair color that he had. So a lot of gray on his face and in his hair. He just always has this intense stare. Always kind of eyeing around, keeping an eye on things, making sure no one's up to no trouble. He's about 6 foot tall, wearing a kind of a long trench coat, prominent ranger badge on the front, I guess, lapel. I don't know what they call that, collar, I guess. And he's just he's an interesting looking individual. Probably not someone that most people would not want to do anything, get into trouble with. I would say at this point anymore, he used to, for I guess other people that knew him in the past, he used to prominently cover his neckline with a bandana, but he's let that hang lower now, and there's a pretty prominent bruise around his neck from a hanging in a previous point in his life. But he's got the intense stare. He's grizzled looking. He's older. A lot of wrinkles on his face, and it's not just from time. It's from war weariness, gunfights, everything. And that's pretty much Buck in a nutshell.
Constance.
For Constance, her sake, she's also almost in the same boat. You see, Constance is wearing kind of more of like a very she's got a vest tied around her shirt, sleeves rolled up. She's got a heavy hat on her head, gunsling over her back, but she's hunched probably right, sitting next to Buckskin. She is a woman in the age range of 45, 46 since we've been last played. But she has a more of a color in her skin. She kind of seemed a little not fully there previously, but she's got a grasp on things now. So she's got like this almost like a mariachi jacket on her person, black, but with like these little yellow pellets that sit along her sleeves that kind of gently match her hat that she's wearing, with the gun slung over her back, and she's leaned over, a little bit of a heel going on with her boot wear, and and she's sitting there next to Buckskin. That's her person, but she kind of leans over and goes, "Hey, you promised me you weren't going to eat all those peanuts. You said you were going to save me some." And I was talking to Buckskin gently. Were you going to finish all of them, or can I have some of those?
I'd say Buck kind of just shakes off of staring at a wall. He's just staring off into space for a little bit.
Are
just
you?
Kind of,
hey,
and feeding himself.
All right, scoots the bowl closer to myself.
The community nuts.
Yeah, he just looks around. He's like, "Oh, shit! I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'd eaten all of them. I was just kind of lost in thought after everything."
Bartender kind of leans forward towards you both, wearing a dirty white apron, white undershirt, big mustache, bald head. Can I get you anything to drink?
Actually, a glass of water would be nice.
Sure. Anything for you, Constance. It kind of waves at somebody, and there is a younger boy. Talks to him in a second. The younger boy leaves the saloon. It'll be a sec, Constance.
I got plenty of time to wait. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
How about you, Buckskin?
I'll do a beer if you got one.
Now, for you, anything. Or is it?
Had your belly been hurting last couple of days? What you talking about getting a beer?
I just got all those nuts down there. It'll keep.
Well,
keep that settled.
You're supposed to pair it appropriately. You've been going at it a little too much with them damn peanuts. You got to lay off them. You got to leave the beer too, as a matter of fact.
Ever since that last town we were in, there were so many of them. I just couldn't stop eating them, and now I feel like I'm addicted. I think I might have a problem with this, to be honest.
We went into we had too many, honestly. Yes. But you know what? You actually probably saved Deadwood, actually, with the amount of fucking peanuts you ingested. Nonsense. Anyway.
I never get tired of y'all's exciting banter. It's quite invigorating, it really is. You know, I know I have said this before, but I really do want to just thank you two. You know, the bar, we used to get real good business, being famous and all from what happened to old Wild Bill Hickok, but ever since it almost burnt down in 79, everything kind of died down for a long time, and everyone started going back to the gym. But since you two arrived, just look at the place. Thank you.
I
didn't realize you were that popular, to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
Well, don't be modest, Buckskin. You know how much work you've been putting into this place. Look, it's not it. Don't worry about it. People need to have a place that they feel more comfortable in, whether they want to kill someone or not. I don't know, but if we put some people in this place to give you more business, hey, more to you.
Hey, yeah, the T-shirts, man, they haven't been selling. All he points back, you see a T-shirt that says, "I shot Bill Hickok, and all I got was his lousy T-shirt," and it's like got dust all over it.
You said like Constance is like, shit. They probably would brought everybody in here. God damn it.
So,
I bought one of them last week, I think, when I was in there.
Paid money on a damn T-shirt like
I
that?
needed a shirt to paint the house in.
Just trying to support the local small business.
So, as
smart.
Two Toes and Bethel, you cross the main thoroughfare on Wells Street on your horses, and you see this. It's kind of to the right on the corner. And you see a saloon with a bit of a crowd popping in. And right as you kind of look over, you guys were all kind of given descriptions of who to meet. You all know that Constance and Buckskin are here and to rendezvous with. That you're meeting up with them and each other. Descriptions and names have been given out by the Legion to you all. And you catch someone matching the description of O.T. Wells, entering into that saloon that's quite busy. What do you two do?
Two Toes, who's been relying on his travel partner the whole time to make most of the contact with other Western folks. Two Toes is incredibly self-conscious about the way that he looks. He's aware that he can be, at a minimum, startling to most people. Also, he is a native person so understands the natural prejudice that people would have against him. So has been kind of quietly motioning towards Bethel for their trip most of the time if there's been any need to interact with the public. So anyways, Two Toes watches the person entering and I apologize, is this the saloon that they walked into?
Yeah, smaller saloon, yeah.
Two Toes, without saying anything, just kind of nudges Bethel in the arm and points towards the person that matches the description moving into the saloon and says, "What do you think?"
A little scary looking, but I'm sure he's a nice fella.
You think that matches the description that we got?
Yeah, dead on. Look at that branding on his face.
That's right. All right, well,
Can't
we might
be
as well.
nobody with that kind of branding.
Yeah, hard to mistake. I think we might as well make our way over there.
And as you lay down your full house, Rusk, you look out the window from the Bella Union, and you see two people on horseback that are really hard to miss. And one of them in particular is drawing a lot of attention. Maybe not so good attention. But you do see a Native American. You're always wearing paint pretty much, right? Two Toes?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's really covered is his face. He's got that big sculpted armored headdress, but the rest of him he's got native armor, which is pretty loose. Most of his body is uncovered and it's been painted, and the paint is kind of has become more a part of him. It's not something that gets washed off very easily, let's say.
And he's right next to this just little woman, like right by it's interesting
Little woman.
We're an very unlikely pair, that's for sure.
Yeah, the contrast between the two of you right next to each other, it's like, what is happening here?
Well, and the other thing is he's got his hair he's got natural, like Troy Polamalu type long black hair too. So it's quite the look. It looks like he uses Pantene Pro V, but it's all natural, baby.
But yeah, they match the description
Based
you
on
were
where we're
given.
from, we might be cousins.
They match the description you were also given. Easy to see. You just laid down your head and won the pot.
Yeah, as I see them, I'm gonna mutter to myself, well, damn, they took their sweet time getting here. Finally. I turn back to the others and I say, Well, gentlemen, it was lovely meeting all of you, and
They're just like sitting there.
you know what? You know what? Keep the money from this hand. I had a nice time chatting with y'all. You can consider a game on the house. And I stand up, dust myself off, because somehow there's dust on me. Even though I've been sitting here, I have no idea how that happened, but I dust myself off.
You're either dusty or muddy in Deadwood, for sure.
Yeah, and tip my hat to them and walk out towards the gathering.
And we cut to a scene of us looking out. It's pretty much just an open. There's no real wall for the saloon. It's just an open wall where you enter in on some steps. And we go to a scene where you just see these silhouettes of these 4 people standing. And obviously, I probably goes without saying too, but no matter really where you are here, it always smells like horse shit. So, just think horse shit, and then the silhouette of 4 people standing in this opening.
Home.
And that is where we're going to start, as you all meet together. You two at the bar look up and you are told by the Legion that they were coming, and that shortly after you should receive orders of your mission. So, as you all meet, what's that look like?
Reading.
Sitting there looking over it. I'm sorry.
Are we meeting inside the bar or outside?
Y'all are on the precipice, the threshold, to go inside.
Okay.
And Buckskin and Constance are in there.
So with a jangle of spurs and a slow stride, OT walks up in between Buckskin and Constance, reaches his long arm in between them, scoops up a couple community nuts on the bar, and he says, "Are these free?"
He said the thing.
Generally they are, but you're actually picking from our bowl, friend. If you don't mind, you could have at least asked to grab them. Did you want a handful?
You don't just take.
You don't just take.
You just grab. You don't just grab a man's nuts.
You don't just grab these nuts without asking.
Where I'm from, the nuts are all community nuts.
Well, where you're sitting means that you should have at least asked us.
Hey, excuse my reach.
You're excused. You can take your hand out of that damn bowl and at least politely ask for some nuts. What is your deal? Ain't your mama raised you right?
My mama ain't raised me right at all.
Okay, well, I'm your mama now, so listen to me.
Oh, hey, mama.
You have to understand. You need to understand. Can I tell you right now? Say this. Repeat after me. May I have some of those communal nuts?
Okay.
Mama, can I have some of your nuts?
Absolutely, please. By all means, have some now. And that's how you ask people for things, all right? Go ahead.
I'm glad Bronny's already used to Constance.
Thanks for the lesson, Mama. Is there a seat here available for me?
Well, seeing as how you're standing in between me and my friend here, you could sit on either side or any other fucking seat in the house.
Oh, I can't sit between y'all?
No, you can pick left or right.
You'd quite literally be standing between us.
Two Toes is watching this exchange and is completely silent and just one eyebrow cocked, absolutely confused at how these are the ones that conquered the West.
Look,
Bethel,
what's your Go ahead, Bethel.
Bethel would just kind of like nudge Two Toes along and be like, "Come on, this is us. These are the ones we got.
Yeah, these are the ones we got." Two Toes.
We're losing daylight.
Yeah, Two Toes, again, not saying anything, concedes to move closer towards the bar, to motion towards the people, but still stands behind Bethel, wanting to hide his visage as best possible with the strangers.
I think,
And
but
Evan Two Toes stands out quite a bit here.
Well, they're all
He's
meandering
trying not
in
to.
this-
He's trying not to.
For sure. Yeah,
so they're
Bethel
all
would just
meandering
kind of.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Bethel would sort of walk in. She would just sit down. She'd be like, "Howdy, my name is Bethel. I think we ought to be here, meeting each other on this day. So, howdy, hello. This is Two Toes.
Yate.
He's like in the corner.
I give like a formal Native American greeting. Yate. Pleasure.
And yeah, Two Toes acknowledges the greeting, and just gives a simple nod back.
So, did everybody decide that they wanted to have a sit down? You know, there's a billion chairs in here. Did we all, Mr. Man, if I may ask, you could sit on either side of either one of us over here. You could just find a spot. Don't stand right here. You're, like, I was literally talking to my friend, and you're kind of in the middle of it. So could you find a spot, sit down, and you can have some more of these communal nuts if you'd like.
And, Two Toes breaks from his silence and says, "Considering the nature of our discussion," and points up to the rafter above, where there's a small table that has about 4 or 5 chairs around it. Says, "Considering the nature of our discussion, I think we might want to take our conversation away from the bar."
That's that important. I mean, I don't mind moving to a table.
Is it possible it doesn't smell like horse shit like the rest of this town? Because I could be enticed into something like that.
If
Yeah.
the whole town smells like shit, the inside of the bar is going to smell like shit.
Yeah, Two
So it
Toes
feels
makes
like being
towards
back
the...
on the ranch.
Two Toes walks past the piano, the player piano that's been playing a Showtime gig this whole time, and walks towards the ornate staircase of wood that makes it up to the second level, which is includes just a couple of small tables for people to have personal greetings and
Just one story
dinner
at the
together.
saloon. Saloon's just one story.
What's up? There's one story in the saloon?
You may be unfamiliar, my wonderful new friend, but compadre, what upstairs are you talking about?
All right.
Don't do that. Yeah, it's just one story. It's it's just a shitty kind of a shotgun house style saloon. Very small.
Okay.
Only one man I know upstairs.
Good, nice.
That's our Lord and Savior.
There you
Rusk
go.
is still hanging back from this, waiting for them to all gather somewhere more private away from the bar, observing still. Probably by the entrance, looking over at some people playing cards.
At this moment,
Muttering.
sorry, go ahead.
No, all good.
At this moment, you hear a slam in the back of the saloon, and a dark figure shadow its door. And then a quick hush kind of sets over the bar, and you hear footsteps approach, and just the sound of the boots hitting the hollow wood and spurs clanking. Pretty soon, a figure comes in wearing a long black duster and a straight brimmed black hat. Buckskin and Constance, you both immediately recognize this person. Got stubble on his face right now. Kind of pretty rough older fellow with a big scar on his face. It's Agent Rolf. Without saying anything to you all at the bar, he addressed the bartender. "Clear the bar." The bartender goes up to the side. Who the fuck are you? I'm Agent Rolf.
Clear the bar, please.
He opens his duster, revealing his vest underneath with a huge badge, silver badge on it. It says Pinkerton, Agent 554. Oh, excuse me, sir. Sure, everybody get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. We're closed for lunch. Get the fuck out right now. And Agent Roll says, leave a bottle and 6 glasses. And he does so.
5 glasses, please.
5 glasses.
Buck leaves money on the counter for the bottle, whatever that costs.
Oh, thank you.
Sure
Thank
to
you.
deduct it from your character sheet.
I don't know how much it costs.
The bottle? I think we went over this
bottle.
like 50 cents, I think. Off the top of my noodle from a year ago.
I mean, yeah. Let's just say I leave that plus some dollars. Like, we'll say $3.
Bar clears out, including the bartender. And Agent Rolf goes back with the glasses, again, kind of without a word, and plops down. Big round table with enough chairs for everybody. Plants them all in the center. All right, let's get down to it, I think. And he waits for you all.
Well, Buck's gonna walk up there and just kind of look over to Agent Rolf and say, "Man, hey, open that door any harder, this whole building's liable to collapse." As I sit down, just saying it kind of jokingly, kind of, more like a hi, what's up?
Stiff arm from a long ride, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. Understood.
Constance is, sitting there looking at the strange group of people that we're all sitting with and goes, all right. Okay. Just so y'all don't know, we're supposed to sit over at the table over there with Agent Rolf. So have a sit down. Get seated.
Two Toes obliges. Takes a seat.
Bethel's like wordlessly. She's kind of while everyone's kind of talking, she's taking that alcohol bottle and she's sort of filling her flask with it. Not trying to be like too secretive, but she's just quietly done it. Places the bottle back and it's at the table wordlessly.
May I make a notice check on that, please? If I may. If not, that's all right.
Well, yeah, if you're doing it concealed, Bethel, then let's see. It's going to be an opposed check. So she's the defender, so she needs to do her roll first, and that's going to be your number you're trying to hit. Test number.
Cool. Give me un momentito.
So I'm rolling stealth.
Yeah. Get our first roll of the night rocking here.
Dying gummit.
Was it number
4? Good. So
4?
I wanted to really get a roll.
Hell yeah.
4 is what you need. 4 always passes. Okay, that's what you need is a 4. Sometimes I'll include modifiers that'll give you a -2. Sometimes if it's easy, you might even get a +1 or +2. But 4 is kind of the sweet spot you're trying to hit all the time. So that's why if you're doing something untrained and you're rolling a D4 -2, unless you roll a 4, the chances are you're not going to make it. If you roll the highest number on a dice that you're rolling, it explodes, it rolls again, and continues to do so until you don't roll that highest number. And every increment of 4, every increment of 4 over 4 that you get is a raise. They call it a raise. When you roll the highest number on a die, they call it an ace. We'll get more familiar with that as we go. However, since this is an opposed test,
I have to still roll my notice.
you're rolling your notice against. Wait, have I? No, you haven't rolled stealth yet. I'm sorry, I was looking at Briney's.
No,
roll.
I haven't.
Neither of you have.
Briny. No, it was for Raichi.
Yeah, Bethel. Go ahead and roll your stealth.
Yeah, Bethel.
I did.
Did?
I rolled a 2.
I don't see it.
Did
You
you
also-
do a
don't?
private roll accidentally?
Oh, I did a self roll. I'm sorry. Can I just reveal it?
I think
Alright.
right click.
There we go.
which-
There we go. Sorry about that.
I don't
Here's
see
a-
it, but you said you rolled a 2?
You don't see it? I just
Okay, now-
revealed it.
Well, there's...
My
I
notice.
see,
This
I
is
do.
for Constance. I rolled a notice for 3.
Okay. So, well, Bethel has to succeed first.
Oh,
She did.
Yeah. And if she doesn't succeed at all, then it doesn't matter, and it's a failed stealth roll. So you do see it. Long story short.
right. When I see Bethel as Constance, I see that if again, just to make sure the physicality, she's about 5'8", kind of a slender Hispanic Native American mix looking woman, wearing quite a large. This wasn't supposed to be a prop necessarily, but her hat is huge.
I like the hat.
And it's kind of
the
it's like a very dark like mustard color. But she seems like she's a little gathered. She's got a Winchester on her back, and she sees you do that, and she kind of gently puts an arm on you, and she goes, "That ain't gonna help you. I can promise you that.
Oh, darling, that ain't gonna help.
It's not gonna help." But I don't say it out loud. I say it more of like a quiet, like that's not gonna do you justice.
Ethel kind
but-
of looks at you
Like hell,
like
it won't.
she kind of looks up at you with like these hollow dark eyes. She's kind of other than being a little sunburnt, obviously from just walking or traveling. She has pretty fair skin. Her eyes are kind of sunken in, and she just kind of gives you this hollow look, and it kind of looks like she's looking through you. It looks like she's looking right into your soul. And she just almost defiantly, but not really in a mean way, just like takes a long pull of her flask, wipes her mouth with her sleeve.
Constance is looking you directly in the eyes. She goes, "I think we are going to become the best of friends."
God, it's just like
You
Constance
see-
and Dale was at the beginning.
You see just like a phantom of a smile cross Bethel's face for the
Oh,
first
God.
time since she's walked into the bar.
We traded Gale for Constance and another Gale.
No, a whole new person.
Now, I really just wanted us to have a
Bunch of
test.
scary girls here.
And I,
All right.
to Nico's point, I really just wanted to have a test. Typically, Bethel, if you do anything sleight of hand related, it would be a thievery. But FYI.
Oh, got it. Okay. Gotcha. I don't usually play like stealthy characters ever, so good to know.
Ooh, this will be fun then. I mean, it's
New to
already
me.
fun.
I
What are you
like
talking
it.
about?
Yeah.
I
So
like it.
Once the rest of the gang has sat down over at the table, Rusk will finally walk over with a little bit of swagger in his walk and do a tip of the hat and say, "Oh, mighty fine gathering of strange folk we got here. The 2 most skilled members of the Wild Five, a native man, a rather dour-looking young woman, and whatever you are," he says, looking at OT. "The name's Renee Seraph, but everyone just calls me Rusk. Pleasure to be meeting all of you." And he extends his hand for a handshake specifically towards Buckskin.
La la.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I have my hand extended towards you
Shaking
for
your
a
hand,
handshake.
young man.
Oh, yeah. I shake his hand.
Pleasure to be meeting you, Buckskin. I've read all about your adventures.
Extra.
I have to ask
You know,
questions because the Wild Five books are rather amazing. I'm not sure if I believe everything in them, but I have the source right in front of me.
It's a pleasure to meet
Goddamn
you as well. I'm
books.
happy to answer questions. I didn't realize the book was popular. I think we only met like one group that knew about us for the most part.
Well,
Like
in,
boy.
It's had some time to
No.
circulate now. It's been months.
well, in
You've
my
been-
line of
you've
work,
been-
you
you've been on everybody's love list practically because of this novel that's been written about you. You've been a fancy britches the last couple of months.
Well, I am becoming quite the silver fox, as they say.
Oh.
But I understand it, but I'm just not used to all this attention. I guess
I just want you to admit it.
I don't want to admit it. I don't want to have this attention. This is, I just don't know what to do with it.
Forgive me for interrupting, young man, but you please continue.
Rusk will also look around and do a little fake sigh of relief and say, well, quite glad that Caesar ain't here. Whenever I read about that man, I just wanted to punch him.
Do you show
Why?
them the dime novel?
The what?
Do you show? Did you show Buckskin the dime novel?
Yeah, I pulled out the copy from my lapel.
So,
From my vest.
So Buckskin, he shows you this. It's kind of like a beige, like rough type of paper dime novel on it, and it says in really ornate lettering at the top of it, Beatles Half Dime Library, all the way from made and produced in New York, all the way from New York, and it's begun circulating
New
around.
York City.
And it has a depiction of a person on horseback jumping in and crushing a person underneath, and there's 4 others in the picture, and all of them kind of have this rough depiction of you all, and you're like, the person that's crushing the person with a horse is clearly your depiction. The others are like they're shooting somebody. You got the depiction of Gail because her hat stands out. She's got this massive rifle and just a plume of smoke coming out of it, and it's a really dynamic picture, and it says 1 of 5.
But that's some fancy artwork. I don't think I got my depiction quite right, but I can ride a horse much better than that. I don't run people over, just randomly, free willy nilly. It's not like I just crush people under hoof.
Is that meant to be Buck? With that Buck?
I ride
She
horses
starts-
that well. You've seen me do that.
I've seen you
Constance.
ride
Come
horses.
on.
I've seen you fall off horses, you some bitch.
Well, come on. I mean, I'm getting up in the years, Constance. You gotta,
They really illustrated the shit out of you, didn't they?
I look pretty good, though. You gotta admit. I mean, it looks.
You look damn
looks
good,
damn
Buck,
good.
I gotta say. I like it.
Rusk will also turn to the agent and just in a more, like, instantly his expression goes blank, nods, tips his hat to the agent and just says, Agent.
Two Toes looks towards the agent, not knowing the background or who this individual is, and not knowing at all about the background or any of the discussions of novels or their previous escapades, and is waiting for either instructions or an introduction from the self-proclaimed agent.
Okay. Well, Constance, Govan, we've met. As we said, Buckskin. I do that a lot with Buckskin for some reason.
Well, because Buckskin's just Govan.
Maybe.
It's a dream casting, honestly.
It feels good to have somebody close to home, like.
Hey, Agent Rolf, are we waiting for one more? I'm confused.
I would like us to understand what the situation is, if you do not mind, Agent Rolf.
Right. Well, for those of you who are just coming in, I am your contact with the Legion. Here to deliver the mission for you all. Got good news and bad news for you, Constance and Buckskin. Looks like you're going back to Dirtwater. We've had a couple of our agents out in a little town, and to investigate a few happenings. One of our agents has gone missing by the name of Showboat. The other agent headed back to Dirtwater, knowing something was up to try to get some help. You'll rendezvous with him and Dirtwater. I imagine you still have some things to tie up there from what I have heard with our contacts that are still there. You are looking for one, let's see. You are looking for a territorial ranger by the name of Ace Carson. He should be there waiting for you. Should give you the information about their mission in the neighboring town. Shouldn't be more than a day's ride from Dirtwater. Give you the name of the town. Yeah. This is a little bit central north, almost damn near in Colorado. A town called Sundown. Ride the rail into Dirtwater. Meet with him. Find our missing agent. Find out what happened to him. And help them complete theirs. Not much more else to it. You're all to cooperate with each other on your mission here. You all have expertise that will come into play. So I expect you all to work together. He kind of looks at Constance.
Are you gonna give me what I want?
I'm glad you asked. We have a lead on our arrangement. This is the first step towards it, and should have more information upon the completion of this mission. But we're getting close.
I think while that's going, Buck's just going to look over at Constance. Not sure if he knows what they're talking about, but...
I don't think Gail actually ever revealed why she was working for the agency.
I
She
can't
just
recall
revealed
as
she
to
was
when.
an agent, though.
I'll probably talk to you real quick, actually, Buckskin, as to what happened. I might have actually referred to you at least a little bit.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Constance looks back, looks at you, or looks at the agent Rolf and goes, "Okay, understood. So this is the crew we're all dealing with, then."
That's right. I'll be saddled together for the next
So
few days, I imagine. I've
card
already
player,
booked you
a
all
lady.
a passage on the rail. Should take you to Billings, Colorado. You can ride down from there. Sundown is on the way from Billings, but do not go there yet. I need you to meet with our territorial ranger contact. I've already paid off the livery in town for your horses, Buckskin and Constance, so don't worry about that. You just gotta go pick them up.
I had a... Well, based on what our little car junkie here was saying, I have a horse that I was saving for a friend, possibly. Somebody who might be capable of utilizing one. They're kind of rambunctious, but we might be able to even bring them along with us, if that's possible.
Yes, our man at the livery did have a few complaints about Devil Eye.
Look, Devil Eye can be a little complacent, but if we find the right person to carry them, we might be able to make use of them. They're a strong horse. You don't find a lot of them like that.
At the mention of the name
It
Devil
is.
Eyes, Rusk will actually perk up and say, "Devil Eyes? Wasn't that Caesar's horse? What's she still doing here if Caesar ain't here?"
You don't need to poke your nose into things you don't know about. You're reading a novel, a fiction. It's not real. Don't worry about it.
Except that cover art. That cover art is very much me.
No, it makes you look nice. You look handsome, Buckskin, but don't feed into it.
I wasn't aware we were
damn it.
among the rich and famous. It's an honor.
Not.
Rich.
Son of a bitch.
Well, you
I mean,
do
so, I
own
mean,
a
Who
ranch.
Son of
knows
a
they've
gun.
got money?
No. Don't bring that up no more. Look, we'll get it done. We have to go look for a man named Ace Carson.
That's right.
Correct.
You have a description of him, what he looks like. So we
What
can
are
identify
his features? Is he a scoundrel, a ne'er-do-well? Is he a
him. Does he have a
nonsensical?
mole?
Agent Rolf, I need you to pay attention and look at me right now. What does he look like?
He's a tall feller. Last I saw him, he was clean shaven. I haven't seen him in about a year, but
He probably ain't clean shaven no more.
he's a tall feller. He should be about mid-30s. Pretty fair skin for a man. Some might say he's even baby-faced.
Rusk
Red hair.
finishes his glass.
He'll be the only one wearing a Territorial Ranger outfit, and he'll be expecting you.
Oh, he's a ring. Maybe I missed that.
Hearing the information, Two Toes starts looking towards the door, eager to get out of the crowded saloon.
Well, it's empty but y'all right now.
Oh, that's right. Kicked everyone out.
Yeah, they cleared it.
Is the player piano still playing?
Yeah, sure. It goes until the whole spread runs out.
That's right.
Actually, hang on, let's see here. I have some. Oh, where is my shit? I'm pulling on stuff from like a year ago.
But,
Gotta put another
Two-
quarter in it.
Anyway, Rusk not wanting to sit down on one of these chairs after the dust debacle in the other saloon, and wanting to kind of show off in front of the group to show that he has some skills of his own. I will cast telekinesis to get myself one of the glasses off the table of the alcohol.
Oh shit!
Well, is that how you do it there, Russ?
Well, I need to
Which?
cast. I need to cast it first.
There's the
If I
music.
actually
There it
succeed.
is.
What the fuck?
That's man, y'all are on the ones on your wild dice. Pretty bad.
I mean, do we have chips?
We yes, we do.
We do, don't we?
You all have
Don't we have a
three.
couple?
You all
Those.
have 3 chips.
That's right.
Can I
Sure,
roll
we
a
do.
notice to pick up on what he's trying to do and see when it's moving here? To maybe try to assist somehow?
So unless he does a thievery check, when people cast, it's always obvious.
Okay, alright.
No, I'm
Maybe
Well, he
actually,
said
I
he's
might
on
be. I
outside,
might
I
even
mean,
being
outside.
generous there with the thievery check. Like generally, it's always obvious unless there's a stipulation.
Okay, alright.
also just for future notice. Because of my edges, I start with 5 chips
Oh,
because I
very
have both
nice.
of the lucky edges.
Are we using
Yeah.
chips are in lieu of the word that we're not allowed to say?
Correct.
Yeah, I will.
I forgot what word we're not allowed to say.
That's
I don't
even
say it.
better. even
Reroll.
better. Um,
I will reroll using a chip.
It
Well,
is
good.
I will
stricken
direct you
from
all
our
though.
vocabulary.
For those who have not used their Deadlands chips before, you can go to page 89 of the SWADE book, and it will detail what you use them for and how you can get them. As probably those 2 pages, 89 and 90, you're going to want to reference a lot and keep in your back pocket.
I think George Carlin at one time actually had a list of all the words. Shall I start from the top?
No.
No,
I mean, you can probably see them all online.
I rerolled.
don't.
Okay, I rerolled. I succeed.
All
So
right.
you guys see one of the glasses seemingly begin to be wrapped in this like green glow, somewhat reminiscent of depictions of voodoo magic specifically. And then all of a sudden it lifts up and, as if carried by an invisible hand, comes directly into my palm. I grab it and take a swig nonchalantly.
But you're just Gambit, right? Is that what's
It
happening?
took you a while, yes.
Okay.
I am just Gambit.
Okay, that's fine.
Does
Well,
it
Bethel
actually-
clutches the cross around her neck.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and instinctively,
You know,
Yeah,
in this
and-
situation, as we've been conversating, it's become a little now understanding of myself that I have not appropriately said hello to all of you, except for you,
Bethel.
Two Toes. Correct.
No.
Actually, I've said, "Ya oite," with you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
What is your name, young lady?
My name is Bethel. God bless
Bethel
you.
What?
Bernhardt.
I was gonna
Hold
say, I
on,
think
hold on.
you might have
Hell
just
yeah,
put
dude.
Rachie on the spot.
I-
I never
yeah.
bothered
I
asking him about a
only-
surname.
So good.
I only ever think of a first name for my characters until the first
I'll-
session, and I'm like,
Earnhardt's so good.
Earnhardt.
I
Although
apologize.
Earnhardt
Dale.
was from North Carolina, wasn't he?
do it for Dale.
Bethel, it's good to
Praise
know
Dale.
you. The same with Dutos.
God bless you.
You, sir, who have been quietly sitting in the corner, sulking possibly. What is your name? I could be referring to both sulky boys. But
So, good boys.
specifically,
Despite
no, I'm-
yes. Go ahead.
I'm looking at Bryony's character. I don't know his
Oh.
name. I don't know who he is.
Hmm.
What is
Okay.
your name, gentlemen?
Name's OT. OT Wells.
What do you do generally for work?
Oh, it's a little bit of this and that. You know.
You can tell me you kill people. That's all right. We've killed plenty.
Especially
I ain't
Buxton.
ever killed nobody.
Straight to the
Yeah,
point.
I really
huh?
try not to, though. I'm just saying.
Actually, it's
I
not
really
myself.
try
Yeah,
not
it's
to.
more. Well, he doesn't like to bring it up, so don't make him bring it up.
I'm just surprised none of you has recognized the world famous gambler Rusk Servov here. Never lost a card hand in his whole life. Is that right,
Well, no,
Rusk?
Yeah, if you're going to use my surname, use my full actual name, or just call me Rusk. Don't say Rusk Serov. That
Well,
doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But yes, that
It's
is correct.
It's good to meet you, Rusk, and your little friend there as well.
I never met the man.
No, I'm talking about you and your little friend.
Oh, right. I forgot about that little detail.
You have a little fun little posse with you, don't you?
Rusk looks over his left shoulder at nothing for the rest of the year, and then looks back at Gale, and probably for the first time that his practice, like smiling demeanor fades, and actually you can see him look kind of worried or maybe surprised, and he'll say, "Well, Mrs. Calloway, we'll talk about that at a later day."
Of course we can. But
No, I hope
matter
so.
at hand is,
Very
Buck.
interested in that.
Buck, what do you think? We got a good crew here or no?
I don't know. Y'all can call me William for this point, but my friends do call me Buck. So if you live long enough, maybe you get to call me that too.
Good to know him.
Rolf interrupts. It would probably be advisable for you all to exchange your specialities with each other. You're gonna be relying on each other after all. He pours a glass, takes a shot, slams it down. I best be off. I got business out further west. Good luck to you all. I'll be in touch.
Don't forget your promise to me, Rolf.
And that's why I'm heading west, darling. He stands up, tips his hat, walks out the same way he came in.
You have a good night.
I swear, does Rolf ever use the front door? I think even in the previous bar, he walked in through the back door. Back in
No,
Dirtlands.
a lot of the times.
No, he just came from the upstairs.
A lot of I was gonna say a lot of the times y'all don't even know where he came in from. He just manifests almost.
Was there.
But now you could probably ascertain it's typically a back door.
All right. So what we know, we need to
God
find a man
bless.
named. Need to find a man named Ace Carson. That's hard,
have-
like very important.
Ace Carson, he's a ranger. He's tall. I also heard that he's got red hair. So
We're also riding into dirt water.
How
And
much time do we
finally-
have until the train arrives that we're taking to Colorado?
I may have.
Billings. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Billings,
think I
Colorado.
actually did neglect that, but Rolf would have said that you have till tomorrow morning.
okay. Well, let's say we have a couple drinks and figure out who everyone is here.
Buck, who's that bald-headed sumbitch who runs behind the counter?
Don't make fun of me just because I took my hat off. No,
I'm not talking about you, fool. Who's the one who gets us those community nuts?
The bartender is in
well,
the.
that's the bartender.
You can see him out in the street, kind of waiting. He's in view of you right now.
We just wave him back in. I think that.
Come on back.
It's private no more.
Come on back.
You see, he's a bit occupied. He's talking to a large man right now, a big guy. He's got kind of a bent-up hat, older, well-worn hat, long black hair, kind of a decently trimmed black beard, and they look like they're maybe having a little argument.
Well,
Shit.
I do believe Agent Rolf was it did insinuate in some ways that we should introduce ourselves properly and talk about what we're good at, our skill set, so to speak. What kind of cards we playing with?
I look to both Two Toes, Bethel, and I say, regardless of what y'all may think, we here try to make sure that this town kept well kept and protect our own. Buckskin, I am going to initiate some kind of action. Please follow suit. And I'm going to pull my Winchester and do the whole thing, and I'm going to walk out the front door to find out what is goings on.
Yeah, as soon as you get within earshot, I'll let you know what you hear. What do the rest of you do as Gale does this? Constance.
I do love
Fantastic.
myself.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do love myself a good argument that leads to a street fight. So I cannot resist. And I'll make my way that direction.
Yeah,
I think-
Two Toes kind of drawing on one of his key abilities, which is intimidation, utilizing his keen ability to conjure spirits of the Native American tribe that were slain in the South. Kind of begins to pull on that spirit ability, thinking about how he's going to use it out front to intimidate the gentleman that's given. There looks like it's the barkeep who's being bullied out front. Is that right?
He's not being bullied, but it looks like he's kind of having a argument right now with a big guy.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the surge of power running through Tallulah. It manifests visually in a purple and black shadowy effect that just kind of resonates around his body. Nothing is created yet, but you can tell that he's conjuring power from his voodoo and native powers.
Rusk will look over at you doing that, noticing the smokiness, and say, "Now, friend, as someone that's also a rather odd fella in terms of abilities, I've learned you don't want people finding about that. So maybe keep the hoodoo to yourself."
Yeah,
And
Two
I will walk
Toes.
out after Gale. After Constance.
yeah. Two Toes kind of absently kind of conjuring up this power, and after having been told not to raise such an alarm, particularly with already the extreme prejudice he's likely to be facing in this town, opts to kind of relinquish the spirit, and you can kind of see the color fade from his body.
I think as Buck is walking out and this is all transpiring, he'll look over to Two Toes and just kind of say, "This town has a tendency to bring that out of you, but just try to keep a cool head." Most situations you can just talk your way out of.
Stay lax, stay loose, but overall, realize Sam may right.
Just keep your eyes peeled.
All right. So as soon as y'all kind of get an earshot, you hear the big fella. He kind of points back and back towards the main street. Well, why don't you go back and tell Al that, you fucking bastard? And the bartender responds, Dan, it was a Pinkerton. You want me to do... It was a Pinkerton. What do you want me to do? What? I don't know. I can't say no to that. I don't even know why he's here. And they kind of notice you coming up. The big fella sees you all.
Howdy.
He nods at you. Are you, you're the fellers that dealt with the minor issue, right? Miners that got murdered. Some kind of setup. Mr. Swearingen would like to speak to you all. Follow me to the gym, please.
Everybody, put your guns down. If you had it drawn, put them down. God damn it!
When you're saying the gym, can you spell that? Because it sounds like you're saying the gym.
The gem.
Like
GM, I believe, right?
the precious
Gem.
stone.
Not Planet Fitness. Got it.
Right. Correct.
We're not going
We're gonna
to
go pump
Planet
some iron.
Fitness to get fed. We're going to the gym.
Planet Fitness is barely a gym anyway.
Put the G Fuel away. Put the pre-workout away.
All right.
My pre-workout is sassafras.
He kind of leads you through the thoroughfare. Hustle and bustle still going on. Avoids the mud. Leads you to the big 2-story saloon that you had passed by. You see a man on the top. There's a little balcony where you can go out and kind of see the main street on the second floor. You see a man in a pretty decent pinstripe suit and a well-groomed small mustache and goatee. Slicked back hair in the Western style where it was like combed and really greasy. Looking down at you, and as soon as you kind of get near the gym, he goes back into the double doors into the room. He leads you into the gym saloon. You see a pretty big place, pretty big bar on the right-hand side. Further past the bar, there's a stairway that leads and curves all the way up and splits to rooms that are all bordering around the top. Past the stairway, it continues, and you see a back door back there. Some more rooms also in that small hallway. There's a little alcove just to the right before you hit that hallway where there's a large chair, barber's chair, where you can either see about your rotting teeth or get a shave, or both. The barber does both of them. And all kind of strummed around everywhere. You see women in their night outfits, kind of loosely hanging around, little nip slip here and there. It's
Nice.
a pretty rough place, and you can tell right off the bat. People in here are haggard, dirty. Bunch of mining equipment literally left at the door as you walk past. And he leads you upstairs, turns around, and knocks on the door. Enter. He opens the door and gestures you in to it. Looks like a living quarters / office. To your immediate left, you see a decent desk with some chairs thrown about. And the man you saw on the balcony standing behind him. Please, come have a seat.
Two Toes, cautiously moves towards one of the open seats and faces the stranger.
Yeah, Buck just sits down. I mean, we've been here before.
Bethel
Yes.
will not sit down, but she'll walk by a chair, and she's sort of fiddling with the cross around her neck, waiting for the information. Eyeing him up and down.
OT
I gesture.
feels OT feels
OT
comfortable in a situation like this, so he kind of relaxes.
Who are the gentlemen who have sat down?
Two toes.
But
Two Toes and Buck.
like OT
I
sat
look-
down too.
Yes, sir.
Buck, I look to you and I go, alleviate yourself. Let the lady sit. We need to stand out in the back. Let them deal with everything as it goes. Miss Bethel, please have a seat.
I get up. I get
He'll
up
take
and stand
he'll take
up,
a seat.
take my hat off.
God bless you.
It's not a blessing. It's a good thing. Don't worry.
So there's enough chairs in here.
Apologize.
As you all kind of situate yourselves, he reaches below his desk here, pulls out here clanking of glass, slams a big bottle on the table with a few glasses, spreads them out for you, pops a cork, pours one, takes a shot. Pleasure to meet you all. I am Al Swearingen, and first, let me apologize. I have to insist. For the life of me, I cannot recollect how it is that I have not met any of you yet. Well, namely you two. I know you've been in town. I make it my business to know every Tom, Dick, and hooplehead in this town. So, you're the ones that helped out recently with our little mystery. Is that right?
I could swear we met him before in the previous. We had to sit down with them.
Mr. Swearingen, yes, we have.
No, y'all haven't met Swearingen. Y'all were
not.
Oh,
I did.
y'all met the Sioux in
I
the
did
town,
meet
and that
Matt.
was really it as far as town interactions.
He
Alright.
agreed.
And the crazy preacher guy. That was like the only other person
Constance.
we tried.
Constance goes,
Oh.
yes, sir, Mr. Swearingen. Yes.
Well,
Yeah, that's correct.
I make it my business to make sure all of my prospects are secured, and I do that by knowing who the fuck is in my town. Which is on why I had to apologize to you all, because at first we've met, and I haven't met any of you. I know that he gestures to the rest. I saw you all coming to the town just today. Is that right? Quite a crew. Motley crew, you could even say. What exactly happened? Feel free to ad-lib, since that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Not really sure what you're referring to, but if you're referring to what we cleaned up previously, there was some funny business going on with the Sioux and the miners, and I would say some issues that happened, some problems that happened that caused people to be thinking that the Sioux were doing damage to the mining operations in this town, and we were actually paid by the Sioux to investigate it, contracted, I guess, if you will, which we did, and we found that it was some supernatural entities that appeared to be the cause of a lot of the problems here, which we cleared
Not
up.
only were they supernatural entities, but we dealt with a lot of problematic individuals who would have harmed our beloved town of Deadwood currently. We did it for not only your sake, but ours as well. We are here to defend not only ourselves, but you.
I understand.
Jesus Christ.
And the gesture is very much appreciated, young lady. I've had the
This
Sioux...
Constance feels weird.
Yeah, right. I've had the fucking Sioux breathing down my neck since I helped pioneer this godforsaken camp. It's nice to know that it wasn't them causing the trouble, but I would say it would behoove you maybe not spread around that it was supernatural, I don't want people running around abandoning the camp, being scared of things that jump at night. Some people are scared they're not drinking whiskey. When they're not drinking whiskey, they're not buying pussy. That don't sit well with me.
Sir, please understand you're in the presence of a lady.
My greatest apologies. He gestures towards you, Bethel.
I know I ain't shit, but you have my fault. Please continue.
I'm but an inhabitant of the camp. You have to excuse my manners. That being said, as a gesture of thanks and of your tight lips, booze and pussy is on the house. For today only. Will you be staying in the fucking camp, or what are your plans?
Well, truthfully, we're departing tomorrow.
Hard to turn down such an offer.
No. We got business to attend to.
Oh, surely we got a little bit of time, Constance.
No, we don't.
I hear you said you're heading out tomorrow.
There's plenty of time.
It's not enough. Look, Mr. Swearingen, as you've stated, we have to make sure that we take care of this job of yours properly. And we have been put into an account with you. Things have to be dealt with a certain way. We can lay out all of these soft-spoken nonsense and throw them out the door. You want us to take care of your business? We will take care of it. We'll get it done. If you want us out tomorrow, whatever.
I would mighty fucking appreciate that.
I think it'd be better if we all took care of this right now.
And, last I heard, Marshal Bullock is looking for you too, so maybe if you get out of town quick enough, we won't have to worry about that.
Which is a perfect opportunity, is it not?
I can keep him out of the gym, like I said. You have to wait to leave till tomorrow. I've got rooms. And I've got the pussy.
You got a pussy, sir. That is interesting.
Clever, this fucking one.
OT, I know that we have just literally met, but if you do not mind, shut your fucking mouth.
I like her. Well, if you don't mind, I have other affairs to attend to. As I said, pleasure to meet you all. And safe journeys.
Thanks.
Two Toes.
Go with God.
Go with God. Two Toes looks towards it's writing. Sorry, I almost said Beth, not Beth.
Some people call me Beth. It's all right.
And doesn't say anything, but his expression looking at her is like, what was that interaction?
Imagine Bethel and Two Toes kind of have a rapport. We've been traveling for a long time together, so we've gotten to know each other, even even though you probably don't talk that much, but, we kind of know our mannerisms, and Bethel just kind of gives you a knowing glance, like, Rat, what the fuck?
Yeah, after he walks away, Rusk will just say, well, what a crass man, that one, ain't he? Referring to ladies as pussy. If my ma was around, she'd beat him right into shape for that one.
Well, she more than likely, Mr. What was your name again?
Oh, Renee, but people call me Rusk.
Mr. Renee. That is inappropriate in most timelines of anything. You can't refer to a woman as such. And it's
Great.
ignored.
65.
That was probably the most
I
toned
agree.
down version of Al Swearingen I could muster. Just I don't know if any of
Al
you
Swearingen
watched
is-
Deadwood, but
Al
that
Swearingen
is
was
a
a
very
bad
toned
shit.
down Al Swearingen.
Yeah, most of
Yeah.
the things he said far worse than that.
Yes.
I actually Constance looks again and goes, "What do you think of all this? We haven't dealt with some nonsense a little bit, but this seems like it's a little a little too what we'll call it when you get that memory back and it comes and goes, you get that deja vu. This feels
I'm
slightly
familiar with
like
the term,
deja
man.
vu.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it yet, but you know what? In my time, it feels so much similar to everything else. It might as well just be normal.
Why
I
don't
don't
you
know
ask your
what to make of
brother
it though.
about it?
I'm not really sure how to summon him at the moment. I'm still working on that. It just kind of comes and goes. I don't know how that works.
All right. Are we alone as a
I ain't
group
talked to him
currently?
in a bit. I ain't talked to him in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you're maybe out on the balcony on the second floor outside of his office.
I assume O.T. Wells, when he heard free pussy, just immediately ran out the door. Like there's a little trail of smoke or fire behind him.
Well,
A wily coyote.
I would be lying if I didn't investigate.
I mean, you might as well
Mr. OT,
try it out.
How OT is like a worse version of Caesar, because Caesar was pretending to be an asshole like that. You just are.
I
We
just
know
am
that.
who
We
I
know
am.
it.
I am.
With all due
I'm
respect,
born
with
this way.
all of you who we've been referring to as well, you all have to understand that us being affiliated with these people does not give you an out with whatever it is your problem might be. I don't know you, Bethel, you, OT, and you, Two Toes. I don't know what your out is in the situation or what it is that makes it to where you can feel that you might make an earning, get rid of your past or what have you. But you have to understand, when you get involved with these people, the Pinkertons, you can't get away from them. It's not
If
good.
this,
I also want
this
to
is the
say
path
that
God put me
sorry.
on, it's all going according to plan. So long as I get to California by the end.
Miss Bethel, if that's all you care about currently, we can get you there. But you have to understand that there is a consequence to every action that we all make, and every action we make could lead us to our doom.
I hear they have In-N-Out out there.
In and out, you say?
Good Lord, know it.
Hey, we got them down here in Texas now too.
Yeah, I'm going.
And
I'm gonna get me a double.
I don't know why y'all getting so excited about that. They got In and Out here. Why are we waiting?
Oh, you're getting
Oh my
you get a
God.
Benny next game.
Oh,
And I lose one, and I lose one. All right, you get a chip next game, and I start with that one.
I love it. I love
I
it.
had to slip up the first game, and with that,
Oh,
the new posse spends their last night in Deadwood, doing whatever they wish at the gym. But free rooms are offered to you to sleep in. There's food here.
Yeah,
By
Absolutely.
their famous cook of the gym, Jewel, a woman with cerebral palsy. You guys get acquainted
Jesus
with
Christ.
Dan Doherty, and maybe see Al a couple more times throughout the night. Maybe even see somebody get murdered. Who knows if you're lucky. And
I hope
Pray
not.
for him.
the next day,
I'm praying for him.
y'all set off again. Go to the livery and get your horses. Load them up in Chinatown and start your train trip.